Today, I'm going to share the remarkable journey of Robert Francis Prevost, the first American ever elected pope, now known to the world as Leo XIV. But long before he became Pope Leo XIV, Robert was just a humble altar boy in Chicago, unnoticed by most, but already walking a path that would lead him to the heart of the Vatican. His journey is one of conviction, quiet revolution, and a vision that's begun to reshape the very soul of the Church. Robert Francis Prevost was born on September 14, 1955, in Dolton, Illinois, a working-class suburb south of Chicago. He wasn't born into privilege or poverty. His father, Louis, was a school superintendent of French and Italian descent, a World War II Navy veteran who valued education. His mother, Mildred, a librarian with Spanish and Creole roots from New Orleans, filled their home with stories and a love for learning. But even as a child, there was something different about young Robert. While other kids were focused on baseball and bikes, Robert was captivated by the rhythm of the liturgy as an altar server at St. Jude's Parish. As a boy, Robert lingered after Mass, watching sunlight filter through stained glass, feeling a quiet pull towards something greater. His mother's tales of New Orleans' vibrant Creole community taught him to embrace difference, while his father's steady presence showed him the value of integrity. Faith wasn't just Sunday, he would later say. It was how we lived every day. These early years in Dolton planted seeds of service that would bloom across continents. While other teenagers were focused on social status and dating, Robert was a thinker, drawn to puzzles and numbers. At Thornton Township High School, he excelled in math, earning a reputation as a quiet but determined student. After graduating, he enrolled at Villanova University in 1973, pursuing a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics alongside philosophy. This wasn't just a boy who liked academics. This was a young man searching for deeper meaning in a way most never would. At age 21, Robert experienced a moment that would change his life forever. During a university retreat in 1976, while praying alone in Villanova's chapel, he felt an overwhelming sense of God's presence. It was like a door opened, he later shared. I knew I was called to serve. In those quiet moments, Robert didn't just hear a calling, he absorbed it into his soul. He was so inspired that the next year, at 22, he entered the Augustinian order, drawn to their focus on community and education. His decision stunned his family, who pictured him as a teacher or engineer, but Robert was certain. Faith asks you to trust, he said. I said yes. Most young adults would never make such a decisive life choice, but Robert wasn't most young adults. The Augustinians sent Robert to St. Louis for his novitiate, where he embraced the order's rigorous training. He studied theology at the Catholic Theological Union in Chicago, earning a master's degree, then pursued a licentiate and doctorate in canon law at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas in Rome. On June 19, 1982, at 26, he was ordained a priest. Father Prevost was a blend of intellect and warmth. Canon law is theology with a rule book, he'd quip during late-night study sessions. This wasn't just academic brilliance. This was a man forming a vision that would one day guide millions. His life took a transformative turn in 1985, when Father Prevost was sent to Peru, a land of stark beauty and deep poverty. He arrived in Trujillo, serving as a parish priest and diocesan official from 1985 to 1986, then again from 1988 to 1998 in Chulucanas, where he taught in a seminary. Peru was reeling from economic hardship and the Shining Path insurgency, a violent guerrilla movement. The results were extraordinary. Father Prevost thrived, learning Spanish fluently and embracing local customs. In 2015, he became a naturalized Peruvian citizen, a testament to his love for the country. In Chulucanas, he'd trek to remote villages, celebrating Mass in adobe chapels. Locals recall him arriving dusty and smiling, sharing meals of rice and beans. During the 1997 El Niño floods, he organized aid, delivering supplies to stranded families. "He was one of us," a parishioner said. "He didn't just preach, he showed up." His work earned him the affectionate title, Saint of the North, a nod to his tireless care. This wasn't just a priest doing his job, this was a man living his faith to the fullest. But life wasn't always smooth sailing. The insurgency made travel dangerous, and he once hit a family, targeted by guerrillas in his rectory. "Fear is real," he later said, "but faith is stronger." He was tested, challenged, and occasionally in danger. "I was lucky to make it through unscathed," he once admitted. "Some lessons cost lives. That one taught me the value of courage." In 1999, Father Prevost returned to Chicago as provincial prior of the Augustinian Mother of Good Counsel province. In 2001, at 46, he was elected Prior General of the Order of St. Augustine, overseeing 2,000 priests worldwide. The role demanded global travel, from rural missions in Nigeria to schools in Japan. Most leaders would have embraced the power, but not Robert. He approached it with humility, staying in simple lodgings and listening to local communities. "Leadership isn't about giving orders," he said. "It's about walking with people." In 2014, Pope Francis appointed Prevost Apostolic Administrator of Chiclayo, Peru, consecrated a bishop on December. His motto, "In that one, we are one," reflected his commitment to unity through service. While others chose grand residences, Bishop Prevost rented a modest apartment and cooked his own meals. Parishioners loved his down-to-earth style. One recalled him joining a street soccer game, cassock tucked into his belt. "He's our bishop, but he's family," they said. He wasn't just a church official, he was a shepherd who knew his flock by name. When earthquakes hit Peru in 2019, he coordinated relief, distributing food and blankets. During the pandemic, he secured oxygen plants for hospitals, saving lives. He also spoke out against illegal mining, linking environmental harm to poverty. "The earth is God's gift," he preached. "We protect it for the poor." His advocacy drew threats, but he remained steadfast, guided by his missionary roots. While others issued statements from safe offices, Bishop Prevost was on the ground, his hands dirty with the work of service. In 2023, Pope Francis named Prevost prefect of the dicastery, for bishops and a cardinal, bringing him to Rome. He oversaw bishop appointments, introducing reforms, like including women in the nomination process, a bold step toward inclusivity. Despite his Vatican role, he remained unassuming, often seen chatting with staff over coffee. "A title doesn't change your heart," he told a colleague. Cardinal Prevost's global perspective, shaped by his American upbringing and Peruvian experience, made him a trusted advisor to Francis. On April 21, 2025, Pope Francis died, leaving a grieving church. Cardinals gathered for a conclave, and Cardinal Prevost, at 69, was a dark horse. Many favored European or more prominent candidates. But in the Sistine Chapel, his brief speech about a church that builds bridges, not walls, struck a chord. "We must go to the margins," he urged, his voice steady but passionate. When other candidates spoke of doctrine and tradition, Cardinal Prevost spoke of compassion and service. On May 8, 2025, after 4 ballots, white smoke rose. When Habemus Papam announced Leo XIV, the crowd gasped, an American pope, the first ever. Stepping onto St. Peter's balcony, he smiled softly, his Chicago roots evident in his gentle accent. "Peace be with you," he said, then bowed, asking the crowd to pray for him. The gesture, simple and profound, signaled a papacy of humility. Pope Leo XIV's first days set the tone. He rode a minibus with cardinals, declining the papal limousine. He chose the Casa Santa Marta guest house over the Apostolic Palace, saying, "I need community, not isolation." His worn black shoes and simple white cassock became symbols of his approach. "I'm still a priest," he said, shrugging off pomp. His early acts were striking. While other popes had issued calls for compassion, Leo XIV lived it. He visited a Rome refugee center, sharing a meal with migrants. He called for action on climate change, echoing his Peruvian advocacy. Addressing the abuse crisis, he pledged justice and healing, meeting with survivors. "The church is a family," he said. "We face our wounds together." His words, rooted in years of pastoral care, resonated deeply. What makes Leo XIV unique is his authenticity. He speaks of poverty with credibility, having served the poor. His humor disarms skeptics. When asked about his historic papacy, he laughed, "God has a strange sense of humor." He's been spotted visiting Rome hospitals, chatting with patients. "The Vatican's nice," he quipped, "but people are out here." This isn't just a pope following protocol. This is a man who believes every encounter matters. His personal life remains simple. At 69, he manages arthritis from years of missionary work. Yet his schedule, prayer at dawn, meetings till evening, astounds aides. His multilingualism and global experience equip him for a polarized world. He's prayed with Muslims, visited indigenous communities, and sought dialogue with secular leaders, always building bridges. "I have everything I need," he often says, echoing the Augustinian value of simplicity. Pope Leo XIV's story is compelling because it's so human. He's the Chicago boy who served at St. Jude's, the missionary who walked Peru's dusty trails, the bishop who cooked his own meals. These moments reveal a man whose faith is lived, not preached. His vision, a church that meets people where they are, challenges us to rethink leadership. "Faith isn't about answers," he says. "It's about walking together." If you learned something new today, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and hit that subscribe button. It only takes a second, but it makes a huge difference and helps me keep creating better English videos just for you. Your support truly means the world. Thank you so much.